Hi geometry students, welcome back. This is going to be a video that you're going to watch for tomorrow's lesson. What I want you to do is to watch the video and take notes as we go along. You could pause your video at any time. Also, I want you to work through the examples. Again, if you ever need to pause and catch up and then check your work with the video, you're welcome to do that. And be prepared for a quick check-in on this content at the start of class tomorrow. Things you're going to need for this video is a straight edge or a ruler. You're going to need a highlighter for any key points that you make and a pencil. So take a second now, pause the video, and get those materials before you get started. Okay, here we go. So in our next class, we're going to solve problems that look a lot like this. So take a look at that for a second. It looks a little different than things we've seen. Perhaps you see some markings that you're familiar with. You know you're dealing with angles. You might want to even think about a couple of predictions on how we're going to solve that. But I'll show you a couple of things that will get us started, and we'll finish the job in class tomorrow. So what we're going to have to do in order to accomplish a problem like this is that we need to learn about a special type of line. And this special type of line is called an auxiliary line, right? An auxiliary line is a line that you add into a diagram to see relationships more clearly. Remember, you want to take notes as we go along. The way we sketch auxiliary lines is by extending the lines into a given diagram, and we use a straight edge for this. So you really want to be sure you have precision. That's why I asked you to get a straight edge or a ruler before we're going to start trying this. We have seen auxiliary lines before, we just really never had a name for it. So if you look at this example on the left in the accompanying diagram, they're giving us some angle measurements and want us to find the measure of angle CBA. So what you would have to do in a problem like this, we asked you guys to maybe consider extending the transversal BC. And when you do that, you might be more easily able to see that we have some alternate interior angles right there, and we can solve for the missing angle. So we know we have alternate interior. In a problem like the second one on the right in Unit 3 review packet, we asked you to show that these lines are parallel based on the angle relationships. So you may have used the use of auxiliary lines without even really knowing it and extended some of the lines to be able to see a relationship. We could have even extended the transversal to make it more clear that there are same side interior angles that exist here. So we're going to use the same idea in class tomorrow. So when you're ready, let's try a couple of examples of what an auxiliary line might look like and a type of problem you'll see tomorrow. So you'll see here, they want us to solve for D. My goal is to solve for D. I want that actual angle value. So the way I'm going to meet my goal is to extend any line that I see in this diagram. So I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to extend over any of the given lines. So there I'll extend a line. At the bottom here, I'm going to extend this other parallel line. And if I want to, I can even choose to extend my transversal, and I think I might. Here, might make it a little easier to see. So now I have a picture a lot like what I saw in our last unit. So I'm thinking, okay, this is 35. I have some alternate interior angles. I can solve for 35 here. You guys saw a lot of this in class this week when we were working with triangles and working our way inside and outside of triangles, that if my goal is to solve for D, remember this relationship when angles form a line, they're called a linear pair? Well, I can solve for D now by subtracting 35 from 180. What do we get? 145 degrees is equal to D. Not too bad. So now what I want you to do is go back to the idea of our goal problem today. And what I want you to do is we're going to draw some auxiliary lines together. So what I'm going to do is take a straight edge out. I'm going to line it up with one of the original lines. And then using my pencil, I'm going to extend the line as long as I want to, just so I can see different things. Please pause the video right now and take a second to try maybe extending 2 more lines or 1 more line even, just to make sure you're comfortable with this idea. So go ahead and try that. And when you're ready, come back in. I'll show you what my... So you can see in mine, I only extended 1 additional line, this line right here. I extended this segment that was going down. And what I noticed when I created this is I noticed a couple of geometric objects, right? I see that I created a triangle, and you can see that right here. I have a triangle inside, and we know a lot about triangles at this point. I see some alternate interior angles if you want to highlight that. So you always want to look for the different patterns. Like for instance, I see some alternate interior angles right in here. So I would have some congruent relationships. We create vertical angles. There's linear pairs here. There's so many relationships. It's all about how you're seeing it and what perspective you're taking on. So just get some practice drawing and extending these lines, and we're going to use it to help us problem solve in tomorrow's class. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free at any time if you get confused to continue with these relationships, and we'll continue exploring in our class tomorrow. I love this little phrase from Matthew. The wisdom you seek is already within you, and it is so true. I can't wait to see what you guys try tomorrow.